Alrighty, YouTube. My name is Vince, and welcome back to my channel, Fern Valley Farm. Where on this channel we are pure country. Alrighty, what we're doing today is I'm going to show you guys how I do this, how I try and help boost a weak hive. I've got two splits going over here. The one on the right, let me turn this camera. That one right in front of you there on the right here. That one I added a frame of bees from behind here. I'll show you in a second. The one on the left, they made a new queen. She went off on her mating flight. Hopefully she comes back mated. Well, this one's got a queen in it, but she ain't doing nothing. And she's marked, so I seen her in there. A lot of times when there's not a whole lot going on in the hive, the queens won't lay. They need to be having something like pollen and nectar and blah, blah, blah coming in. And I'm not sure if that's what's going on in there. There's not a whole lot of pollen going in because the nurse bees got to grow up. Some of the nurse bees haven't grown up yet to be worker or foragers, I should say. So they're not foraging. There's a little bit of pollen coming in here and there, but not enough. And that could be why the queen's not laying, because there's not a lot going on inside there. When there's a lot of pollen and everything else coming in, then that really stimulates the queen to lay. This one on the left, this is the second queen they've made. The first one, I don't know what happened. She didn't come back. Something happened. So they made another one. The queen cup was empty. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost this hive. And what I'm going to do, like after I boosted this hive yesterday, what I did is I put a frame of brood. I just took a frame of brood. Since I knew where the queen was, I got her from right here, number 2, which is my buckfast hive. I took those two hives are packed. It's great. I took a frame of brood from that hive with nurse bees all over it. I put it in that hive behind me here. And that hive was doing really, really good yesterday. There's going to be a lot of bees hatching out. Hopefully that will stimulate that queen to start laying, because there's something going on in there now. Like I said, it's just been a really funny year, and we're almost coming into a dearth, which means a whole lot ain't going to be happening. They've got pollen patties. They've been fed. So what we're going to do, and this might take a while. Hopefully I got enough SD card. I'm going to look for the queen in number 1, my Carniola hive, which is booming. There's bees everywhere in there. There's larvae. There's capped brood. I'm going to take a frame out of that, and I am going to put that over here in this hive right there. So first of all, I got to find the queen. So let me go grab my smoker, which is over there smoking. I'm going to try and find the queen so I can mark her, and hopefully that doesn't take long. I got lucky. I found the queen in here yesterday, and I marked her. I found her in 2 minutes. I had this all planned out to come out here by myself and do this. Nobody was around to bother me, and I found her immediately. If I would have had people nagging at me to do stuff, looking for me, I would have never found her. I had all the time in the world. I found her in 2 seconds. Ain't that how things go? So hopefully the same thing will happen today. There ain't a whole lot going on right now, so hopefully I will find her. Let me grab my smoker and my marking tools, and we'll get started. I've got my marking frame here. I'll show you how this thing works. This is pretty slick. If I can find her, I put this right on top of the hive. You set the frame right on there at an angle, you pick her off, and it's great. It works really well. So hopefully I can find her, and I'll show you guys how this works. Just put all this over here for right now. If I do find her, I'm going to mark her with a red pen. But I kind of like to have everything kind of set up. I've got my queen catcher cage here. Can you see me? Put this here. So I like to kind of have everything kind of set and ready to go. Put that there. All right, let's take this apart. I'd much not rather wear this veil. I'd rather do this without. But this hive is a little aggressive, so I need to suit up for this one. A little bit of smoke, let them know I'm coming. Watch the smoker die. Why didn't I just take that off the first place? I don't know. Hopefully she's up here, which would really be nice. They're really doing good on this pollen patty. I put this pollen patty in yesterday, and they're really working that really good. So what does that tell you? They're diving into the pollen patty. That means they need something. Like I said, the weather's been so bad this year. So we'll start. Oh my God, this frame heavy. Yeah, good luck. This is heavy. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you're not grabbing drones. Some of these drones are pretty good size. You got to make sure it's not the queen. You know, one good thing about looking for the queen during the day, when all the workers are out, there's less bees in the hive. It's about 11:30 right now in the morning. Oh, there she is. Wow, I got lucky. She's right here. She's right in the middle of the frame there. I only got one. But my hunch was right. I don't go nowhere. I'm going to lose her now. Watch. Where'd you go? Oh, there she is. Okay. So you take the frame holder like this. You set it there. You can't see because the camera's backwards, but I don't want to take a chance of her getting away from me, so. It's amazing how fast you can lose them. Oh, there she is. Okay. She's in the cage, so very carefully set this down. I'm going to put it right there. I know, she's not happy. Take this frame. See how nice that works? I'll put that back over here. What I think I want to do while I got her caught. See her in the cage? I've got a red pen I'll mark her with. I think what I'm going to do right now, since I've got her caught, I'm going to move one of these frames. I'll brew it over. She could just stay right there. And they're about to know pretty soon they're queenless. This is a really good frame. I hate taking these out, but I need to boost that other hive. All right, what I did is I took that frame and I put it over in that other Carniola. That was originally a Carniola split, I believe. I'm going to replace that frame with some new foundation. I'm still feeding them. It's still kind of early yet. It's only July. I'm going to put this right in between. I'm going to checkerboard this new frame right in here. I know where the queen is, obviously. So we're going to put all this back together. Get in there, girls. I try at all possible to not smash any bees. I hate smashing bees. Put that there. You guys can have that. You get your queen back in a minute. Just hang on. It's funny, when they're queenless too, they know it. It's pretty quiet in here right now. They must not be paying attention. So I'm going to get her marked. When they're queenless, you can really hear the high roar. All right, let's get this off. All right. Get my pen. You can see this. Just take your red, this plunger. I don't like this one. This one's not as. Be really careful with it. There's your marked queen. If you're using one of these things, be careful. These plungers do not stay in there as tight as they should. I actually dropped one time. I pulled the plug. I just let go of it. If I let go of this, that plunger is going to fall, and she's going to fall to the ground. But after I mark her, I like to let them sit for a few minutes, let that dry. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to set this back inside this feeder. Obviously, there's nothing in that feeder right now. So I'll let that sit for a few minutes. I'll let her dry. I'm going to release her. It's kind of quiet in here now all of a sudden. Where'd you guys all go? Maybe they all ran downstairs. So that's one way you could boost the weak hive, by adding a frame of brood, some larvae. There's honey on there. Like I said, don't make sure the queen's not on it. You don't want to take the queen, obviously, and move her to a different hive. So find your. That's why it's nice about marking them. I'm glad I found her. There's like a million bees in here, and I found her. So now I'm going to leave this hive alone. I actually came in here yesterday. My intent was to pull some honey frames out, harvest them, and then replace the frames. But they weren't doing what I thought they were going to do. They were working the frames. They weren't just filling them with honey, which is fine. My concern this year, just because of the way the weather was started out, my concern is not for honey. They don't seem too aggressive right now, so I'm going to take this down. I can always put it back on if I have to. I want to get her turned loose. You want to make sure that dries, because when you put her in there, they're going to try and they might try and wipe it off. They might try and clean her. It dries pretty quick. If you dab it on your hand, you can see how fast it dries. So all I'm going to do here, I shouldn't say anything, but they're being really nice. This hive has been pretty aggressive lately. I'm going to open this up. Let her walk right back down into the frames. You can go. You're free. Put the ventilation box back on. These ventilation boxes are nice. It's been so hot. Come on. It's funny when you go to do this, then they stay up at the top. There she goes. She's in. All right, success. Mark queen. Beautiful. Put the feeder back on. This hive is doing great. I need to keep my mouth shut and stop bragging, right? These bees are making. One trying to commit suicide. And of course, I forgot how many people, okay, raise your hands. How many people forget to put the inner cover back on? Come on, don't lie. I just put this pollen patty on yesterday. Look what they're doing to it. Or if you use the frame holders, how many people have left the frame holders on, right? Come on, raise your hand. Don't lie. All right, here we go. Got our ventilation. We got like time. Come on, get. You can't stay in here. Don't sting me. Nope, no, that's not where you want to go. You don't want to drown. Okay, put the roof back on. Getting that out first, then I'll continue with this. I hate when my stuff's not square. It drives me nuts. I know. All right, back to my story. This thing is so easy to make. I did a video on this actually. It's just a bunch of scrap wood. You set that on the hive, put the frame down, and then you just pick your queen off it real easy. I probably should have turned it so you guys could see it, but you kind of got the general idea. I don't like to pull the queen out too long. I just get paranoid. So I kind of want to do it and get it done. But the marking the queen wasn't the purpose of this whole. I mean, the subject of this video wasn't queen marking, but you see me catch her and mark her. And my little frame here, which is made out of scrap. Just widen up to sit across the frame. Put your frame. There's a little stopper right here so it can't slide off. It worked really nice. So, anyways, back to the original subject here. Get out of my face. That one didn't like me. That's what it looks like when you get stung in the face. Like, seriously, you guys have been good all this time. You could take smoke, too, and you could smoke yourself, and that'll keep the bees off. Well, that one kind of hurt. Okay, let's get this over here. Let me stand over here. So, taking the frame of brood larva, honey, I put it in that weak hive over there because I said this hive over here, I got to turn this so I can see what I'm doing. This hive right there. There was a queen in there. It left. It never came back. They made another one. The queen cell was just opened. I just checked it yesterday, but there's not a whole lot going on. So when she comes back, there's gonna be brood in there, calf brood. There's gonna be larva. There's nectar. There's gonna be stuff going on. Like I said, if there's nothing going on in your hive, and I think that's what was going on here, if you have nothing going on in your hive, a lot of times your queen won't lay. If you ever see them on the front of your hive, just kind of, if they're on the front of the hive not doing a whole lot of stuff, it's because they're bored. There's nothing going on. If there's no pollen coming in, there's no nectar, when you're in a dearth, the word dearth means lack of, and I'll do a video on that. But when there's nothing going on, there's nothing for them to do, and the queen just kind of meanders around. She's laying, but not much. If there's pollen coming in, there's nectar coming in, the workers are bringing in pollen right and left. That just triggers the queen to really start laying. So if you get a hive that a whole lot of nothing is going on, that could be your problem. So I'm hoping I boosted this one yesterday. There was all kinds of nice activity on the outside of that yesterday when I checked it. When I came out here a few hours later, there were lots of bees. Some were doing like a little orientation flight. I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen to this one in a few hours. I'm not going to mess with this now. I'm going to leave it be. There's going to be a whole bunch of babies being born. A bunch of brood's going to hatch out of that hive, which will be great. That one, the same thing. I'm hoping this will boost. I'm hoping when that queen comes back, she's mated. She comes back to the right hive. Once I start seeing larvae, I will go ahead and mark her so I know where they're at. So far, everybody's red. I've got one hive left to mark. Some of my other ones swarmed. A whole long story, but I had some abscond because I treated them with oxalic acid vapor. They didn't like it. Don't know why. Never happened before, but it can. So anyways, yeah, so I'll do updates on these. I'll combine these two videos together when I do updates on these to let you know how it worked. But if you've got a weak hive, you can take frames from your strong hives and move them over, but just make sure the queen's not on it. That's what's nice about marking them. I'm having a hard time. I'm getting better at finding her. And a lot of times you don't even have to look for her. As long as you see larvae in there, you know she's there. So that's not really the issue. If there's larvae, you don't need to find her. But So yeah, boosting a weak hive. Just add a frame. These two hives should start to blow up just a little bit. Hopefully that one will trigger that queen. I seen her yesterday or 2 days ago. She's in there just kind of wandering around. There's an egg here, larva there, but nothing really. So hopefully that'll trigger her. I'm going to leave it alone now. I'm not going to mess with it for a good 10 days. Check on it and see what happens. These two hives over here, these are really doing good. Number one here is really doing good. So I didn't feel too bad pulling one frame out. It's still July. If this was September, I probably wouldn't do it. That one there, I'm not going to leave. I might pull one more frame because this hive is doing the same thing. Number 4. That was my Italian package this year, which was doing really good. All of a sudden, I fogged everybody at the same time. These two hives could have cared less. That one didn't like it, and some of my splits didn't like it. So that one swarmed a little bit. I just put a new queen in there. I just checked her yesterday. She's been released for about 4 days. She ain't doing a whole lot. So we'll check on that. If that hive isn't doing what I hope in a couple of weeks, I'm going to boost it with a frame out of this Buckfast hive because these two are doing really good. But I don't want to keep pulling stuff out. We still got time. It's only end of July here. But if it was September, I wouldn't be doing this. So anyways, that's my story. So I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Hopefully you like the videos. You got any questions, comments, got any ideas for other videos, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. If you're liking this video, subscribe to the channel, support the channel. Hit that little button right there. Hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you do decide to subscribe, there's a little bell next to that button. Hit that bell. You'll get notifications every time one of these videos come out. I'll do updates on this, let you know what's going on. Like I said, I really appreciate you watching the videos, supporting the channel. I think that's it. So I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.